Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Jasmine. Hello, Paul. Good morning, Caesar. All right. Good morning. Who did I just get? Emma and Corey and Leah and Manha and Marco. And Sundus. All right, we're going to wait just a couple more minutes before we get started. I have not, full confession, I have not timed this lecture yet, so I'm not entirely sure if it will go over. So we may have to finish it up on Wednesday, but I think we'll be okay. I mean, I timed it before. Now, before our time slots got chopped a little bit. We're going to wait just another couple minutes. And then we got to get started. As you guys know, we have just a limited, amount of time to do everything now. So it's more important than ever that you try to be on time. I would recommend, as I mentioned earlier to my advisees, that you just go ahead and log in to your next class. And then if you need to step away from the computer, do that afterwards, right? Just so that you're already like in the room, so that when everything gets started, you are already there and ready to get going. Okay. There's Ivan. Space here? No. Okay, so you probably got my message about this already. However, there were a large number of you who did not submit your paper. And so it is considered late now. However, if you have a paper to submit, hello, Ivan. What I would suggest that you do is, what you have to do is you have to submit it. There's like a hard deadline of December 6th. Okay. And I say that because I have to submit the scores to like uplift, not like the school, but like the whole thing. And I won't be able to grade them and do that in time if I don't have the papers by the 6th. Okay. So I'm going to show you at the very bottom of our Schoology page. I have turn in late RPA papers here. Okay. If you have a paper to admit to me late, or you're going to edit your paper to get a better grade, that's where you need to turn it into, right here. Okay. So for those of you who are just joining us, if you did not turn in a paper, I need you to submit it by December 6th. If you submit it after that, I can't grade it in time to turn it in. But here is where you will turn that in at. Okay. So check your grade. If you have a 50 and you turn something in, it's probably because it did not meet the word count or it did not meet the requirements of the paper. They are pretty specific. If you may have lost points because you did not follow the instructions for how to format the paper, which we also spent quite a lot of time going over, and there's really no excuse for you to not get those points. Okay. So double check that as well. That may be a reason. If you lost points due to that, you can easily make those up. So the maximum points that you can get now, of course, is 85. However, if you get an 85 on your paper, you can still get the top score for the RPA because it's still a good paper. It's just late. Okay. Any questions about that? So you can still get credit for your paper. But if you don't turn anything by December 6th, there's nothing I can do. Several of you are asking if I got your paper. You should be able to see your score in PowerSchool for the RPA. So if you have a grade that is not a 50, then I got your paper. So if you want to take a second to check that, go ahead. There were a couple of you who you'll see there's a comment thing in the grade book. And I may have left you a comment. It's not PowerSchool. Can you check Schoology in your grade book in Schoology? Because PowerSchool is still down on your side, I know. I don't know why some of you are already doing the exit ticket. It is not time for exit ticket time. We have not even done the lesson. You should be able to see it in PowerSchool. Jasmine, yes, I did get yours. It is on my end. That's weird. Or not in PowerSchool, in Schoology, sorry. Okay, so I did not get, actually, I got papers from Abdullah, Leah, Emma, Paul, Corey, Jasmine, Manha, Faith, Saeed, Marco, Haiti, Pernasia, that's it, I think. So everybody else, either your paper did not meet the requirements or I did not get a paper from you. So if you weren't on that list, then I did not get your paper. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about, we're still talking about script analysis. Okay. This is actually script analysis that is used by directors and actors alike. Okay. So it's the GOTE method. And we're going to go through that today all together to talk about the difference between an objective and a super objective. All right. Can you guys see it? You should be able to. Okay, so Among Us, you're the imposter, right? What's your real goal as the imposter in Among Us? Yeah. Okay, so sabotage and kill everyone, right? But you have all these fake tasks. What's the point of the fake tasks? To look innocent, right? To make people believe that you're not the imposter, right? To blend in. Good. Okay. So the fake tasks support, right? Because they're underneath, they support your main task. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So G in the GOAT stands for goal, your objective. You have two objectives as an actor, and as a director, you have two things that you're going to identify for the protagonist. The first thing is what's the super objective? And the second thing are the scene objectives. The scene objectives are what you're doing in each scene that's going to help you get closer to that super objective, right? So you're going to do stuff in each scene that helps you get closer to the super objective. So the super objective. You have one super objective for the whole play. This is the protagonist, right? Although every character usually has some kind of goal in a good play. Every character has something that they're fighting for. But from the director, think about this as the protagonist, okay? You have one super objective for the whole play. So a shift in super objective may be a major plot point, okay? Their example is from Legally Blonde. At the end of Act 1 of Legally Blonde, Elle's super objective changes from wanting to get Warner back to realizing that she actually does not want him back. So her super objective is going to change. But that doesn't happen a lot, okay? It is something that fulfills a fundamental human need, which can be revenge or power or love, okay? It is something that is big and not easy to get. So if you're think about your musical, something that is a large objective that is not easy to obtain. Let me go back. Okay. So one super objective for the whole play. So when you're thinking as the director, you're looking at what is it the protagonist is trying to get? What's their main goal? A scene objective, you can have more than one scene objective per scene. It can be accomplished or it can be abandoned. If it seems like you're not going to get it and you got to move on, then you can move on, right? It is always in service of the super objective. So it always supports the super objective, even if the audience doesn't understand how it helps at the time. it is always in service of the super objective. So what questions do we have so far? Either about our super objective or scene objectives. So what was, for instance, thinking back to, we talked about Oedipus Rex, right? What was Oedipus Rex's super objective? What was Oedipus's super objective in Oedipus Rex? What was it? His ultimate goal was to do what? Anybody remember? What about 21 Chump Street? Let's talk about that one instead. What's Justin's super objective in 21 Chump Street? To get the girl. Okay. All right. So his super objective is to go out with his crush, to get the girl, to get her to go to prom with him, right? Okay. So he has multiple scene objectives, right? That helps him towards his goal. He does the song and dance thing right in front of the whole class. And then ultimately he buys her the drugs that she wants, right? But everything that he does is in service of his super objective, which is to go out with her. Okay, so which one of these is the super objective? You guys know what this one is. The imposter's super objective is sabotage, says Benjamin, right? Yes. Okay. So all of the fake tasks are in support of the super objective. Good. This is the win condition. That's another way that you can think about it, right? What is it that the protagonist is going to get to win? So why do we do these? Why do we submit the scan and inspect the sample and download data? Avoid suspicion. Okay, good. What else? What else might be a good reason to do one of those tasks? To blend in. Okay, what else? To look normal. All right, okay. So everything is to help complete the objective, right? So that you don't get caught. Good. Okay, any questions before we move on to optical? Does this make sense? So when you're the director, you're figuring out these objectives for the protagonist to help you sort of find all the major plot points of the play. Does this make sense so far? Yeah? Or no? It does? Okay. Anybody lost? Anybody need a different explanation? You guys are silent, so I don't know if this is clicking with you or not, except for a few of you. Makes sense? Okay. All right. So O stands for obstacle. Often a list of complicating factors, right? Things that are in your way. You relate your obstacles to the other in the scene. What does that mean? Is the other an obstacle? Is the other person part of what's in your way? Is the other person a potential ally? Can they help you get what you want? Okay. So you think about it in terms of, can this help me or not? You walk into a room in Among Us and there's somebody already in there. You have a choice to make, right? Are they an obstacle or are they a potential ally? So, right, you get caught out potentially. If the crewmates figure out who you are, they're going to throw you out the airlock, right? So, scene objectives are in response to the obstacles. You walk in a room and two people are in there. That's not the time to complete or try to complete your super objective, right? That's the time to do some of these smaller objectives because of the obstacle, in response to the obstacle. Or you do the smaller objectives so that somebody is like, no, it couldn't have been green, right? Because he was with me in the med bay, right? So if you get caught, you can't complete your super objective. So obstacles can actually be a benefit to you as the character or as the director because you can use them creatively. So T is for tactics. Okay, before you move on to tactics, any questions about obstacles? No? So just because you walk into a room, we got lots of people who are just now logging in. Y'all are about 22 minutes late, okay? So the obstacles aren't always bad. They can be in your way, but they can also help you if you can manipulate them to assist you in your super objective. If you walk into a room and somebody's in there, right? And you just immediately you could start doing your fake tasks to convince them to stand up for you. Okay. So T is for tactics. They are strategies, right? Strategies you try to achieve your goal. You have to do tactics to the other person. So whatever the other person, whoever they are in the scene, in the room, right? The tactics will be done to them. In acting, we use these as verb or verb phrases. So it's an active thing. So what does that mean? Give me some active verbs. Okay. Think about like what do you do to the other? A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence, right? Help, okay, to help. All right. To sabotage, to run. Here's to gloat, to scan, to scrutinize, to convince. Okay? So you're doing something to the other person that is active. Okay? So, what are some tactics you try in meetings to avoid suspicion? Those of you who've played this game. You can't see what's black. Act like you're doing something, blame people, make allies. How do you make allies? You can't see it, Jermaine? You can't see the slide? Oh, you always you always blame it on them. You take up for others and clear them. Okay, so Pernasia's idea is to then like take someone's side, someone's being accused, and you help them, right? So that they feel like they're grateful to you. Create a Discord and get others to blame one person. Okay. So you are rallying, Jasmine's rallying people to point everything in one person. But how do you get them to do that for you though, right? Like, do you convince them? Do you threaten them? Pernasia is assisting, is you troll, okay? Name yourself after famous figures. You have to try to like, sometimes it'll be like, no, it wasn't me. You can, you know, maybe like vote me out next meeting if you see like you suspect me. It's the person who I didn't create this. The I got this from like a group of teachers, and I don't think it's Spanish, I think it's Portuguese. I think she's from Portugal. Someone who knows better than I can tell me. Right? But yeah, so there are different tactics that you can take, right? To avoid being suspected. So you can accuse, right? You can reassure people. This is my first time on the map. I don't know where I'm going. You can butter them up. I know it's not blue because he was swiping his card when it happened. Okay? Basically, or you can command them. Orange is a liar. Skip the vote. Right? So you basically all the things that you guys talked about. Okay? Accuse, reassure, butter them up, command. These are all active verbs, right? Basically, in acting, what we do is we say to blank. So to accuse, to reassure, to butter them up, to command, right? That's sort of how you put it with like what you're doing with each line. Okay, so E then is expectation. What do you expect to happen as a result of what you do? Okay, so the tactic is to badger them into voting for blue. All right. Your expectation is what? What do you think it's going to be? What do you think the outcome will be? What's your expectation of the outcome? Okay. They will vote blue and then you will be safe, right? That's your expectation of what the outcome would be. What happens is instead they skip. Now, so your expectation, it didn't come true, right? Benjamin says blue blames you instead. That's probably, yeah, that probably is going to happen, right? So a new tactic then has to be to guilt trip them about not choosing blue, maybe. So let's say you're orange and you're trying to blame blue. The next round, you're not going to kill blue, right? Because that would prove that you were lying. You're going to kill somebody that blue is near so that you can get them to believe you, right? Make him look suspicious. Does this make sense? So what's the pattern here? A tactic, you have an expectation, there's an outcome. Yes, exactly, Lacey, that forces you to pick a new tactic and we sort of repeat, right? Tactic, expectation, outcome. Yes, exactly, Marco. Creates a new tactic, repeat. So you kill somebody else and then you blame it on blue again, right? They didn't listen to you and this is the result. Repeat. Tactic, expectation. Does it happen? Yes. Now you work on your next objective, right? Which is a new tactic. No. Try something else, which is a new tactic. So it basically is a circle no matter what, right? If you say vote blue out and they do it, hooray, now you have to do something else, right? You've got a new person to target. If they don't vote blue, then you're going to try something else to make blue look more guilty. Oops. New target. Okay, so yeah, this is where I got this from. Okay, so let's go to Schoology. And I think I posted in here the last time. Hello. There we go. A play that y'all were supposed to read, right? Did I not post it? I thought I did. Wait, is it in the 17th? Yeah, I can't think of it right now. So it's in the 13th. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and open that up and start looking at what you think the super objective for, I can't think of it right now, is. So if for those of you who can't find it, it is in the November 13th folder. Okay. So open that up. We've got about 10-ish minutes. I want you to start reading that and tell me what you think. I'm gonna go ahead and stop share. What you think a super objective for this one act might be. And go ahead and private message me when you think you have an idea of what you would want to use. Does everybody have the play open? Everybody found it? It is in the November 13th folder. So week of November 9th, and then go down to the 13th folder, which says directing concepts and methods. And it's at the top. I can't think of it right now. So remember, you're trying to think of the active, an active verb, right? The super objective. Okay. I've got a couple of answers so far. Okay. Benjamin, I think that's a good one. Jermaine, I think that's a good one. Eric Bud, you're about 40 minutes late, just so you know. So several of you are starting to figure it out. I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and then those of you I haven't heard from, I want you to just jot it down for yourself before next time. We're going to work with this play for the next, for this directing section, okay? So keep this play, like maybe download it to your computer, keep it on hand because we're going to use it quite a bit. Just remember that the stronger the verb is, the better you are, right? So you sort of have to start refining it. You know, you start with maybe, it's a weak verb, ask, right? To ask. Well, there's lots of different ways to ask somebody. You could quiz, you could interrogate, you could demand, you could torture, you could plead, you could, right? So you sort of have to figure out, it's up to your interpretation, is the thing, right? Okay, so for those of you that I've heard from, you can go ahead and start the exit ticket. Everyone else, spend a couple more minutes sort of trying to ponder this out. Okay, so Laturo, I never heard from you for your what you thought this was, but you did the exit ticket already. So please don't do the exit ticket before I tell you that you can. Yes, Paul, you can. Yep, if you already sent me your what you think the super objective is, then you can go ahead and do the exit ticket. Everybody else, spend a couple more minutes trying to ponder out that super objective before you do it. Please remember that I do have to have your papers by December 6th in order for you to get credit for the RPA. If I don't get them from you, then I have to give you a 0 in the RPA, unfortunately. You must meet that. You must meet that word count. All right. One more minute and then I'll let everybody can do the exit ticket. Like I said, keep that play around because we're going to use it for our little mini project. It's not going to be a real project. It's not going to, like, in the sense that it's not going to be a summative, but it's going to give you the chance to, you know, what would you do if you were going to direct this play? So you can start thinking about that, what you would want it to look like, who you would cast. Our next class, we're going to talk about copyright law, right? So what you can change and what you can't change. And we're going to start breaking down this script together for practice, for script analysis. So if you haven't had a chance to read I Can't Think of It Now, I would go ahead and do so before the next class, okay? So please go ahead and start the exit ticket. You got 5 minutes to do that exit ticket. I would always encourage you guys to look at the back of the slides as you're doing these tickets. You are allowed to do that. Use your notes, look at the slides. There's really, if you are taking notes and paying attention, we shouldn't be having people getting zeros on the exit ticket because all of this information is taken directly from the slides, okay? And next up. So go ahead and do the exit ticket if you're not already. Please make sure to turn in your papers. Those of you who have completed the exit ticket, you are free to go. And I will see you on Wednesday. Yes, you can. I just set it up. You should be able to do it again if you got a low score. So please go ahead and do it again if you need to. You too, Jasmine. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the classroom. Please do the exit ticket, and I will talk to you later.